welcome back to another day in the market. I hope you guys are excited for some hopefully interesting action over the next couple of days here. Again, though, we are really just continuously chopping around in this big mid-range of mid-range period here of consolidation. The plan that we have is the exact same. There's not really a whole lot out there right now where it's like, oh, these are great market conditions. This is the time that we want to be taking on a whole lot of risk. We're just going to continue trading that post-earnings strategy, which, again, we have some more awesome results of today. Congratulations on everybody that nailed GNRC. 500% on the post-earnings there too. You've got 218% on lows. There's other multi-100 percenters there happening off of that idea that I gave you guys yesterday on AT&T over here and Verizon. Really, really nice moves to the upside. Guys, congratulations to everybody in LTMP. Even in these very choppy market environments here, you guys have still been able to absolutely crush the market here. Again, you guys all know the deal. Everybody gets their first month for $1 a day with code February. For those of you guys that still need to hop in there with us, I don't know what you're doing yet. You are missing out on a lot. Don't get left behind. I mean, we're just going to keep doing this. Here's the link there, guys. I'm throwing that in the live chat. Use code February, and you guys will all be able to get your first month for $1 a day. Neo looking pretty interesting over here. A little bit of volatility today, but we are starting to peak a little bit to the upside, which, again, this chart is looking very, very, very solid for some potential upside over the next couple of weeks and months here, especially after them revealing their first quarter of profitability ever, which is exactly what we wanted to see out of Neo there. Is AT&T moving up a little higher here? Yeah, I mean, again, guys, that next target on AT&T, 29.21. Congratulations. GNRC, 570% now. Guys, I genuinely don't know why every single person in the market is not operating the way we do in LTMP. Doesn't matter what's happening in the market. We are still going to be able to find the best opportunities out there and then nail those trades there like those big multi-hundred, in some cases there, which you guys have seen a lot in the past, multi-1,000%. Just imagine it like this. Imagine if every trade that you guys took had the potential to run multi-hundreds, if not multi-thousands of percent. How much better would your performance actually be? Probably a lot better, which is why, again, you guys see everybody loving the LTMP group so much. So you guys have that there. But ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of day again. Say good morning to somebody in the live chat. If you guys would like to say good morning to me, we'd love to receive some good mornings over here. If you guys are new to the group, new to the stream, new to the channel, let me know. I'd love to welcome you guys in here. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys are hitting that like button on the way in. Costs you absolutely nothing to do it, but it helps me out a whole lot in spreading these streams out to as many people who actually want to learn. If you're not subscribed yet, make sure you guys are. And remember, I do these streams for you guys every single day during the week here, Monday through Thursday, at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys have notifications turned on for the channel. And then what else? Friday's public live day, so tomorrow I'll be live with you guys at 9:15 a.m. Eastern here, so don't miss them. But great move so far. I think Neo, again, we really do have to see this get through that daily 200 EMA here. If we can, we're going to be looking really, really solid for some continued upside. The last time that we nailed one of these Neo trades, guys, was, again, another one of those big 1,000% trades. And I know it sounds crazy when I sit here every single day and I'm like, yeah, there's another multi-100 percenter, 500, 800%, 1,400%. I know it sounds crazy, but that's why I showcase these results to you guys all the time, because it's like, this is what's possible if you start operating in the market the right way, right? So then just thinking about the broad market here as a whole, again, we had the labor market data yesterday. We have CPI coming up tomorrow, and really the market's doing a whole lot of nothing here. When you take a look at the daily time frame here on ES, we're not really seeing anything. We have just been in this period of consolidation since the end of December there. The range is pretty big, but at the same time, it's like, well, what are we actually expecting here out of the market? What is the overall investor sentiment when it comes to looking at, let's say, new investments, risk on behavior? Well, we're not really seeing any of that yet. There's not really anything out of the market right now, except for maybe a couple of things that we'll talk about in a second, that are really telling me that this market is ready for a solid, significant leg higher here. It really does seem like we are either going to be in this period of chop for a while, or we are in for a pretty significant move to the downside. We saw this really starting back in October, where Donald Trump came out and started talking about new China tariffs. We saw the Fed rate cut fears. We've seen a lot of these different things in different headlines starting to come out and affecting the market. And at the first sign of those, investors are running to the door. Why is that? Well, we've had an amazing 2024 in the market. We had an amazing 2025 in the market. And the question that a lot of investors are asking themselves now is, how long is this sustainable and what's next? Right? What's next? And right now, a lot of people are very worried that that next move is going to be to the downside. Now, there's two things, and this is what I was talking about with you guys in the pre-market plan this morning, which was there's really two outcomes here if we start to move and get out of this period of consolidation. One is we get into a period of, let's call it like a most hated rally, where a lot of people are going to be expecting the market to move back to the downside. And let's say we get a couple of decent pieces of news. Maybe that development with Russia coming back and using the US dollar as a positive development. Maybe it's the US and China suspending their tariff rates for the next year, which we've kind of seen some rumblings of. Maybe that starts to happen and the market starts to move back to the upside there. Well, again, that could happen, but a lot of people are still not going to be very excited or willing to start putting a lot of risk back on into the markets. We could go into a period of, let's call it, again, like I was saying, that most hated rally. The second is that you start to see some things starting to crack again, and we finally get that nice move down to the market that we've been waiting for, so that the market can then, after that, find its bottom, starting to come back to the upside there, can then basically go back onto easy mode, which you guys all know what happens when the market goes on easy mode. It's 1000% trade central. But you guys are slacking big time on the like button today. Let's see. VOYG. Let's take a look at that. Voyager? No, this thing's just downtrending here. This thing's just downtrending. I wouldn't really be doing much with this. Where's Enphase over here? I want to take a look at that. What's Enphase up to? Yeah, Enphase probably isn't going to be one that we're looking at all that much more, unless it starts to bounce off the 10 here. Continues in this kind of wider or larger range of consolidation here. So we'll see. But again, guys, congratulations to all of you that have been nailing the post-earnings moves. That Verizon and AT&T move has been absolutely phenomenal here. Look at Verizon pushing. I bet AT&T is probably starting to get close here. Yeah, AT&T, that next target there, 29.21. Many of you guys are already up multi-100% on this move here that we were outlining on the private stream yesterday. Congratulations, guys. That is absolutely awesome. I don't know how many more times you guys need to see me do this for everybody, but I'm just going to keep doing it. That's what we do around here. But let's see. We've got Jerry, Daly, Taylor, Romeo, TC, Marcel. We've got Affirmation, Boomtown. Good morning, guys. Yeah, here comes AT&T a little. Neo's still looking great. I do want to check back in on gold a little bit there. Just kind of see how that's looking. Because this is, again, yeah, gold is still looking really good here. This might take a couple of days here in order to form a really, really solid setup. But I do think that gold is getting ready, or on the charts, it's showing us that it's getting ready for another leg higher here. MGY, let's take a look at that. That looks decent. These oil and gas names have been interesting. Where is oil today? Yeah, oil's not really moving. Oil's not really moving here. Yeah, very slow. I'm not really excited about anything that's going on in the market. I want it to nuke so that we can get some really good opportunities. If it just continues chopping like this, it's fine with me. The market is never going to force us to be doing anything. And again, that's what I think a lot of people are just like really missing. It's like they all just want to try and take action every single day. And it's like, if that's you, you really need to reconsider, because that is like a guaranteed way to lose all of your money in the market. Robinhood, let's take a look. Robinhood nuking. Yeah, I mean, I want to see this thing get down to the weekly 200 EMA here. What is that? It's at like 50, isn't it? 48.80. I'd love to see that out of Robinhood. That to me would be a decent buying opportunity. But also, there is some interesting data coming out with Robinhood too, where it's like if you look at a lot of the accounts, when you incorporate the move down that we've seen in the market or in some of these individual names, and you look at the total like values in these Robinhood accounts, like Robinhood users have really not made any money, which is not great for the business. Like having more capital on their platform is a metric that people are going to be paying attention to. Obviously, crypto moving down is not going to be helping this. And just generally here, these brokers are going to get hit when the market is going to get a lot more uncertain. So what's the broker? It's not a, it's, what is it? There's a certain index, like an ETF that tracks all of them. But that is typically going to be a sign of investor sentiment too. You just wish it would make up its mind already. Is that surprising? I'd say yes and no. On the Robinhood side, with them, the Robinhood users losing a lot of money, or not making a lot of money, let's just say, in one of the biggest, let's say, bull markets ever. Like the moves that we saw in 2024 and 2025 are ridiculous. But at the same time, it's like we've seen names like Pltr, Robinhood, Sofi. A lot of these names go up very significantly. Does that mean that like everybody is doing what I tell people not to do all the time, like buying stuff at the highs, buying names that have already run up? Maybe. I mean, that's why we talk about that so much, guys. It's like there's a time and a place to be taking action in the market. And you can't think that like, oh, just because a stock is up significantly that you just need to be continuously taking action in the market. That's, again, like I talk about, is a way to just completely blow up your accounts. Why do you think I named my private trading and investing community Less Trades, More Profits? Because the fewer times that you are taking action in the market and focusing on more high quality ideas, the better you're going to do. Right? So AT&T looking great here. Congratulations, guys. Again, I don't know how many more times you guys got to see this happen, but it was another great message that I got today in the private stream, which was like, it's crazy how a 500% trade is just normal for us. And it's like, that's how you have to be operating in the market if you want. Like all of this day trading nonsense that you see out there with like 1-to-1, 1-to-2 risk to rewards. It's like, it's no wonder why people aren't making any money when they're trying to take short-term trades in the market here, because they're literally subjecting themselves to a strategy that is such a small margin for error. Just think about the gold trade idea, 1-to-64. The SATL trade idea, 1-to, I don't know, what? 1-to-120 risk to reward. It's like you trade with good risk management in the right way, you're going to be able to do very well. So here comes AT&T moving back to the upside there, looking really good. How's Neo looking here still? Decent. I mean, that's an interesting weekly chart here. You get a weekly close above the 10 here, which is at what, 505? All right. I mean, you get a weekly close above there. That's solid. Ideally, we want to see this thing get above the daily 200, which is right around 527. That could look very good. But then you have things like Pltr here, guys, continuously moving to the downside. If Pltr drops back down to its weekly 200 here, that's going to be an interesting potential buy opportunity back in the 80 to 70 range. I don't have any problem with that. I would be perfectly fine with seeing that happen because Pltr is so overvalued. Like, think about if you guys have paid attention to any YouTube video that I've made over the last couple of months and quarters here, when we talk about Pltr, what have I said time and time again? The market is going to start holding names like Pltr to a higher standard. They've already made their moves. They're wildly overvalued in the short term. Yes, they can continue higher, but at some point, the market's going to hold it to a higher standard, especially when this risk-off behavior starts to come into the market. Oh, here comes AT&T. Here we go. Here we go, guys. Nice work. Look at this. Boom. You got what? Less than 10 cents away on AT&T here? Nice. Like, I would not be surprised if we saw Pltr come all the way back down to 85 here. That could be a decent buy opportunity. but not yet. You're trying to catch a falling knife there on the weekly. Especially if the guys, the market too is only like what 1.5% off all-time highs. It's barely down. Look at this. 1.4% off all-time highs here on ES. Imagine what happens to names like Robinhood, Palantir, if the market were to actually get a significant 5 to 10% drawdown. What happens to them? They're going to have some more downside. So like this is what we were talking about a lot yesterday when people were like, oh, should I go out and buy this stock? It's like, well, you're not really seeing the signs that they're done selling yet. And you also have to consider what happens if the market actually does make a move down from here, which is pretty likely, I would say. Well, they'd probably sell off to those weekly 200 EMAs, which again could be great buy opportunities. What else? Where's Hims? Hims, garbage. Ugh, ouch. 1650. Ow. You guys see that tweet I posted yesterday where somebody was like, "Oh, Hims is. You know what they do sell or something?" And I was like, "Do you know what Hims isn't gonna be selling? Compounded oral GLP-1s." Hims just fumbled so aggressively here, and I've seen people say now they're like, "Oh, Novo should still have a partnership with Hims." It's like, why? Why would Novo have a partnership with Hims now when especially after the data that we've seen already? Why do they need Hims? They don't. Hims is really cooked right now. They had an opportunity, like we were talking about, over the last couple of weeks here to really change the way the market viewed this name and to say, okay, they're going to start operating within the guidelines that have been set for years. You cannot try and mass produce these compounded drugs. You can't do it unless there is a specific reason or the FDA allows it. It's almost like this is kind of like what Hims just did. It was like GameStop or AMC running to the upside, and then everybody just tries to thinks that those stocks are going to rip again. And because in Hims' case, they were like, oh, we had that period in which the compounded GLP-1s were legal to be sold on a wide scale, and they were able to make some significant money off of that. But now they're like, oh, we're going to try and do it again. And it's like, no, you can't do that. The supply chain shortage is now over. Why would you do that when you could just enter into a partnership with Novo and or Lilly and be able to sell the oral GLP-1s and make money that way? Now they're screwed. So where's Sofi? How's this looking? It's starting to move down too. Again, these brokers, these fintech platforms here are going to struggle. Again, I'm not really concerned with my Sofi position. I own my position at $6.60. The only other time, besides my initial entry on Sofi, guys, where I was like, oh yeah, this is a good time to potentially enter, is this purple line right here, this weekly breakout at 1360. Those are the only two times where it made sense to be purchasing Sofi. Now, if we can come down to that weekly 200 EMA here at 1540, that'd be great. I'd potentially buy more there. If we can see a base. Because what you can't do in the market is it runs down to a level and you just indiscriminately buy just because. You have to take everything into account, which is why we talk about that 3-pillar approach all the time. Oh, here comes AT&T. Nice. Nice, guys. Let's see. AT&T, what a move. Verizon also over here just absolutely crushing. Again, if you, like I've told you guys before, if you were to take a look at the community gain section within LTMP, you would have had no idea that the broad market is doing what it's doing. No idea. So I'll throw that link in here for you guys again. Here you guys go. You make sure you use code February to hop in there with us. That will give you your first month for only $1 a day. What a move. Neo cooking off the low. What's it at now? 509. Yeah, Neo's looking good. Obviously, I want to see this above the weekly, the daily 200 for 527. That's what I want to see. But if you can get a weekly close above the 10 EMA here, you haven't done that since October. That would be a significant sign of a little bit of a trend shift here. But also think about what we've been talking about with Neo too. It's like, all right, we had this potential move. It didn't end up following through to the upside. You were probably going to come down to the bottom side of this prior range of consolidation, which is exactly what we did. Now you're shifting back to the upside. Bing, bang, boom. It's not that hard, guys. Once you guys see how simple what we do in the market actually is, you're going to wonder why you ever tried to operate any other way. It's like the most common piece of feedback that I receive. It's like, wait. It's this simple? It's like, yeah. Yeah, why are we all trying to overcomplicate the market when we don't have to? I don't know. GNRC, really, really solid post-earnings mover there. Again, that was, I believe, another 500%er for LTMP this week. Yep, 500%. 570 was actually what Romeo was saying before. Nice work, guys. Enphase, yeah, I don't think we're going to be doing much with this. It's just invalidating to the downside here, so we're not going to be looking at that anymore. TWI, shares trade. Let's look from here. I mean, earnings is at the end of February. This is, again, you probably at this point, I've already been able to take profits on this thing. Can move stops into profit. If you're worried about it though, you can just sell it. You know, that's a really, really nice move. Yeah, I like EMAs better. It weights more recent price action more. So the EMA is at 527. The weekly 10 EMA is like sold at 600%. Nice, guys. Nice. Great work. Pins in the gutter? What is up with pins? With it says earnings. I mean, this could be a fun post earnings if we get one, unless they already reported. I think they're after ours. But awesome work. Like AT&T guy, I mean, that's another trim right there for you guys. Like that, right up at that 29.21 area. After that, I mean, you've got 29.80, these highs here. But like I was telling you guys, this could easily be yet another 1,000%er. Like when you see telecom run like this, and like things like AT&T or Verizon that typically don't move, or the market doesn't expect them to move very much, and they do move, those could be the best ones. Yeah, we already talked about Sofi. That makes sense if fintech as a whole is going to be getting hit there. And then again, as you guys are filtering in here, make sure you guys are hitting that like button on the way in. Costs you nothing to do it. Helps me out a whole lot. Yeah, it does have room to run. I mean, guys, this AT&T move is nuts. That's crazy. I mean, so this is the thing. It's like, guys, Who else is handing out this level of trades? Who else? Oh, 500% on this, 1,000% here. It's like we're doing things that the trading community has never seen before. It's crazy. I know it sounds nuts too. It's like, here's another round of crazy trades. So it's just going to keep happening. How many more are you going to miss? That's the question you got to be asking yourself. How many more of these are you going to miss? Here it is. It's about to break. Ready for the ding? J and J's been looking good too. Look at this thing go. There it is. That was from yesterday too. I don't know, man. I don't know. You're just going to keep doing this. Yeah, pins could be a fun post-earnings move. Where's Nia? Yeah, this one does look like it's about to rage. Yeah, S&P down too. Look at this. Market just nuking. Hello. Look at this. Market nuking here. When did Verizon and AT&T first get mentioned? Yesterday on the private stream. It was like right as they were going. It pays to be in LTMP. Yes, it does, Hal. Yes, it does. I feel like I've gotten like an ab workout over the last couple of days, just coughing like crazy. I feel so much better today, though, which I'm very happy about. I need it to be good for Valentine's Day and this weekend. Look at this. Oh, no. Market's nuking. Oh, no. Here it comes. Yeah, J&J is looking good, too, after we talked about that one yesterday, too. Look at that. Bang. Uh-oh. Remember this Johnson move? That was a really good one. That thing was up like 900%, too. That was a really good one on Johnson & Johnson. And then, what's his name? Asian Pelican just kept holding it. Had the leaps on it, made like 30 grand on that. Oh no, the market's nuking. Oh no. What did we expect? This is why I keep saying it's like just like trade the post earnings. We're gonna go for the hot like typical value sectors if they're there. Other than that, you sit there and do nothing. You don't like it? Hopefully you don't lose all your money. Because trying to take a lot of action in these market environments here is going to be very dangerous. We're done for. Yeah, guys, it's so over. I mean, you do have this volatility zone here that you could bounce off of. Right here. You've bounced off of it before. This was one from here. You broke, you retested it, and then you started moving to the upside. Now, I would say, with the way that this whole market looks here, we probably get through it, but we'll see. Who knows? And guess what? AT&T holding right at the highs. Verizon, right at the highs. Bang. market dying. Here it comes. Verizon over 50. Nice. Yeah, AT&T struggling to get through this area here, but once it does, it could snap a little. Great work, guys. And then we'll just keep hitting the post earnings. You know, like how many of them have we had this week? A lot. There was GFS, there was GNRC, Datadog, and what do you call it? Didn't work. Spot. But again, that's why I tell you guys and show you guys all the time. It's like, yeah, there's the bounce off the volatility zone. It's like the outcome of one individual trade is meaningless when everyone that we talk about has the potential to run multi-hundreds, if not multi-thousands of %, right? Like think about the math behind the risk to reward. How many of those trades do you need to crush it throughout the year? One. You hit SATL, you're done for the year. Gold, you're done. You have such a giant buffer. It's like, that's why this stuff works so well. Yeah, the one thing I will say here, though, is that, okay, there's AT&T above, so that's through that target for those of you guys that want to trim a little bit more there. But what I will say is that if this market bounces, you might see a rotation out of stuff like that, like out of AT&T, out of Verizon. There's the market into the volatility zone. Let's see what it wants to do. Think I'm over 200% on 10 this year. That's great. On 10 trade, that's amazing. Verizon still going? Yeah. Johnson & Johnson's still looking good there too. Yeah, look at these guys. Don't just pay attention to the stock swing section of the Discord. No. In the live streams? Yeah, because they're happening like as we're looking at them. So that's why I do the live streams for you guys, so that we can see things in real time. That is like literally the point of the live streams. That's why the pre-market plans are there. That's why the live streams are there. Where's Marriott? Did that continue? Marriott. Wow, that's still going on that post earnings there a little bit too. There will be another one. There's always another one. Yeah. That still looks good. Yeah, so they're trying to buy it up off of the zone here right now. We'll see what happens though. I don't think it's gonna hold, but we'll see. I would personally not be expecting this zone to hold here. I think we easily could come down to this one at least. We'll see though. Again, what were we guys? What were we talking about earlier this morning? Even just on this stream before we saw this big nuke. It's like, well, the market is not in a position right now where it wants to be taking any additional risk. At the first sign of, oh no, everybody's running for the door. That's why you have to be so careful in this environment. Where's LMT? How's that look? Ooh, that's running there a little. I bet my XAR is looking good. Ooh, Lockheed I really like there. Where's RTX? Looks good. Where's my XAR? That looks good. LMT I really like there actually. That looks nasty. I mean, I could say right now is a decent spot here, or you could wait for the break of the high there at 647. That's a good one. Why is the market down? Because it has no reason to be up. That's the point that I've been trying to make to everybody. It's like somebody craft an argument for why there's the bottom side of that zone. See? That's what I've been talking about. It's like, why is the market down? Well, it's not necessarily having a direct reason for the market being down. It just has no reason to go up. So anytime something is going to happen right now, everybody's going to freak out. You know? That's why I've been saying I don't trust this. These aren't great conditions. Trading around in this chop is not the best. Unless, remember, we are operating in sectors that can always get a mind of their own. Like telecom's been very hot. That's why when we started talking about AT&T and Verizon yesterday, I was like, oh yeah, those look insane. That, defense, what else? REITs. And just think about what we were talking about yesterday with utilities here. Look at this. Look at what utilities are doing. I hope this stuff isn't just going in one ear and out the other to a lot of you guys, because what were we talking about yesterday? Utilities and REITs were both moving to the upside and looking really, really bullish. That is not a good sign for the broad market. That's risk-off behavior. That typically is going to forecast moves down. You know? So when I see those things, and then we start to take a look at, okay, are we going to be looking at treating the market the same right now as we would in an environment where like the market's trending, you're out of a zone? Like, no, we wouldn't. Here we go. Let's see how we're looking here on the daily. We're still, honestly though, still just chopping around in the range. Flock to safety. Exactly. You've seen it in gold. You've seen it in the bond market. You've seen it everywhere. Think about it like this too. What's Philip Morris doing today? See? This is another good example of this. You're seeing these high dividend payers moving. Why? They're flying into safety. They know that they can't really get the yield that they want in fixed income anymore in the bond market. So where are they going to go? They're going to go to things like utilities. They're going to go to things like commodities. They're going to go to things like Philip Morris that are paying a decent dividend. Now, right now, it's not great. It's 3.16. But it was before when I gave this to you guys at 95 down in here. So I really, like, that is something that all of you guys need to, like, incorporate into your analysis of the market moving forward, is that when you see utilities and REITs ripping, take your ball and go home. No need to be going crazy. Neo's still holding up very well there. I like that. But just think about it. What is the reason why the market's going to trade higher, especially after what we've seen in 2024 and 2025? And then if you think about CapEx, like having, like when these big tech earnings come out and you see these CapEx raises and guidance for CapEx going up, that last year, that was a big bullish signal. It was like, okay, more spending going into AI. Now it's like you spend too little, you get punished. You spend too much, you get punished. And this is the craziest thing too. Think about it like this. Everybody is probably losing significant amounts of money right now. Not LTMP. 500% GRNC, 218% lows. You've got AT&T and Verizon absolutely raging to the upside here. You've got Johnson & Johnson still looking very solid here after that break yesterday. That is the fact. So, like, a lot of people are going to look at, like, what we do with an LTMP and be like, oh, yeah, the big multi-hundred and multi-thousand% gains. It's like, yeah, they're great. But that's easy. That's, like, the easy part of what we do. The real value comes in is when I come out and I'm like, all right, this is yellow light, don't touch anything. Or we're going to get really, really picky with the sectors that we're operating in and only look for things that can get a mind of their own in these types of market environments. Anybody can make, like, stupid amounts of money when the market's trending. It's not hard. This is when the real value comes in for you guys. Croc's trying again? Is it on the post earnings? How close is it? It's got a ways to go. But it punishes the companies capable of expanding it. Well, most of them are just up so much. You're like, what do we do now? Here we go. Here it comes. Here it comes. Thank God. Sell it more. This is what we want to see. Everybody should be begging for this. Oh, COP? Yeah, that's another one. The oil names? That's another one. Look at this, guys. Here's another one for you. LH was another one. Look. Oh, my God. That's the wrong LH. This was another good one up to that target. Down today, but this thing has been unbelievable. The break was like down here. 270, 250. I keep trying to show you guys this stuff. Hopefully you guys are paying attention before it's too late, you know? So I'll throw that link in here for you guys again. Just so you guys have it. Make sure you use code February when you guys do hop in there with us. That'll get you your first month for $1 a day. But nobody should really be surprised by this. It's almost like wishful thinking that people just want, like they're hoping that the market goes back up, even though realistically it doesn't really have a reason to right now. Unless you were to see something like, I don't know, like the Russia stuff come to fruition with them going back to the US dollar. You could see the US and China's tariffs get suspended, which I did see some headlines on. Other than that, this is what we're in for. So you have to prepare accordingly. Crocs is getting closer. But like this, guys, you can't have freaking utilities ripping like this and be like, oh yeah, the market's gonna go. No, it's not. You can't. When money starts flying into this level of safety, it's like, okay. Like, where's NEE right now? Just up and to the right. Do I ever look at QQQ? Not really. I don't need to. You can look at it, but it doesn't look good. That looks horrible. It's normal range? I wouldn't. I'm not sure what you mean there. You know, it's like, all right. Yeah, it didn't make any sense for that zone to hold. So we don't really need this on here anymore. Once you got the retest of it down in here, it didn't really make sense for it to hold again. Here we go. We easily could see this. I would not be surprised if we fell another 30 points. Volume stepping up. Where's Duck? This is another utilities company. Oh, look. Oh, look. Utilities ripping. Rip, rip, rip on utilities. Just like we were talking about yesterday. And the REITs. The REITs are moving. The real value for me has been in the team you created. With your direction and all the experienced market participants in the group, it's easy mode for the dum-dums like me. So much fun. Get an LTMP. Romeo, you've been really crushing it, man. It's been awesome seeing your guys' growth, too, because I know a lot of you guys have, like, come from, like, really struggling trying to take advantage of, like, short-term, like, really small time frame moves in the market. And once you see what's possible, if you start operating, like, the way that the most successful, like, traders of all time have started trading, it's like, oh, this is why they've been able to generate the level of results that they have, you know? The best, too, is like, because it's all about teaching you guys to be self-sufficient in the market. It's seeing you guys identifying a setup and then nailing it for like a crazy percentage gain. It's like, that's what it's all about, guys. Here we go. I'd love to see us get down to that bottom zone today. I'd love to see that. Where's LMT? Is that thing still moving? No. I'd be careful with that right now. There are some defense names that do look good, but just generally here, we're like, okay, I know we're looking at a pretty big sell-off here, but like you're still in the chop zone. This is what type of price action is expected in this type of chop zone. That's why we've been so cautious in being like every single pre-market plan, guys, for over the last few weeks here has been, market's still not really convincing me of anything. We're going to focus on post-earnings, and then we're going to look and see what types of sectors can be get a mind of their own. That's it. Nothing's changed. Everything's going according to plan here. Oh, here we go. Nuke, nuke, nuke. Look at this thing. Bye-bye. Where's Bitcoin right now? Where's Bitcoin? Uh-oh. I think a lot of people went from it's so over to we're so back very quickly too. Way too quickly after Thursday going into Friday too, especially in the crypto markets. There just wasn't enough convincing me that the selling was done yet. It's just not enough. Because you can feel, when you, like, this is another thing that'll come with experience in the market, guys. I know I look young. I'm about to be 27. I've been doing this since I was 14. You can kind of get a good understanding, especially when looking at social media and, like, the live chat and just, like, overall sentiment of people, like, what's probably going to happen next. Like, we've talked about this before, but I can use the chat, the view count on the streams, and all sorts of other different metrics to kind of figure out where the market's probably going to go next. Because it's a what do you call it? It's an indicator of sentiment. You know? Like, yeah, obviously in LTMP we're going to keep nailing the best trades. Obviously, it's not going to stop. But you can kind of see when people start thinking about the market generally, they get a little bit afraid. And you're like, all right, if you're starting to see these things over and over and over again, well, it's not like what's also not convincing me that the market's going to come up is that there's not enough convincing arguments from every, like, retail as a whole that's like, oh, we're going to start buying again. Because what people also think about too is that, like, institutional money, let's say, is somehow different than retail. If you talk to enough money managers and things like that, they're the same. They just have more capital to play with. They operate a lot of the times the exact same way, but they're not going to be taking these, like, short-term gambles. So, where's Verizon and AT&T? How are those doing here? Verizon still near the highs. T still cruising, guys. I'd love to see us get down to here today. Another 20-ish points. Because now that we've kind of bounced out of this twice, I don't even think that would hold. Like, think about what we were saying. It's like, the worst case scenario would be we nuke like this and then we rage back into the upside here, into this zone. But even if that happens, it's not enough to convince me that the market's ready to go. Have you broken out of the highs? No. No, I still think people are too afraid of this market right now and where everything is to do anything. And let's actually check back in on this. Where's Robinhood right now? Nuking today. Nuking. Where's Pltr? Probably nuking too. Yeah, down 6. Where's Sofi? Probably moving significantly lower too. Yeah. And I want you guys to continuously think about what happens to these names here if the market actually does that move down. They're going to fall significantly more, which is why I've been talking about that weekly 200 EMA on both Pltr and Robinhood. Because that's probably where we will see them go if the market falls 5% from the highs. 5 to 10% from the highs. Which is a big range, but where's J&J right now? Is that thing still holding at the highs? Yeah, it's selling off a little. But this is so right now that we're seeing this move down, we've already seen, what do you call it? We've already seen Verizon and AT&T rip. You've seen Johnson & Johnson, sorry, make a nice move to the upside. You've seen a lot of those other names starting to move too, but I wouldn't be looking to take any new trades in this environment because you could easily see the sectors that have been able to hold on here now starting to lose it. Bull just went sub 6. Yeah, that is probably going to go lower. It's brokers. Like, those are going to get hit if the market comes down. But that would be a nice buying opportunity down a lot lower. Like, the amount of opportunity that we would see, like, we've seen this a couple of times where the market, it's the fear and greed index has been a very interesting indicator of like where things could easily go if the market starts to really move down. Like, I think it was one of these moves in here where the market wasn't really down that much, but we went to like extreme fear. It was the same fear levels that we saw back on Liberation Day. And it was like, that's a little bit strange, which then you could think about, okay, if that level of fear can easily come into the market, what happens to the high flyer names? They get murdered because everybody leaves at once and there's no buyers. So I don't want anybody to be afraid of this move, though. This is what we need. This is what we want to have happen. We want the market to drill. Think about what happened last year. What happened last year? Q1 of 2025 was very slow. We had post earnings, but we had some great downside moves, but there really wasn't a whole lot of like great opportunity for just like midterm swings. Then what happens? We bottom out near April and May, and then we go into the period where I handed out 35,000% plus trades in a 2-month period. That's why I want to see the market move down. This is not easy mode. We've talked about this so many times that like the market chopping around like this is when the largest levels of danger come. When it's moving down significantly, that's fine. Actually, you know what? Probably looks good here. There's Lulu. Here we go. And we're not that far away now, guys, from this level here. See? We had that one zone where we were talking about, it's probably not going to hold there. Now you're coming to the next one at 68.70 something? Yeah, 68.71. And I know for a lot of you guys, too, that are new in LTMP that haven't necessarily seen me do this before, where it's like, when I start to say, relax, only really have some caution here, it's like, I'm not saying it for my health. Like, obviously, I want the market to just be on easy mode all the time, but that's not up to me. We're here to take advantage of the best opportunities in the market in the highest quality conditions. These conditions that we're seeing out of the broad market right now, they're terrible. They're great for post earnings and also for those sector rotations. But they're horrible for like slinging big tech and like the normal retail favorite names. They're horrible for it. Like, these are the types of moves that we're looking to set up over the next couple of months here. Like this Coinbase move, guys. I mean, that's like a 3,000% trade there. Coinbase is getting murdered here. Murdered. Where's AT&T? Oh, look. AT&T, new highs. New highs on AT&T. Where's Johnson & Johnson? Not quite there yet. Where's Verizon? Bang. Look at that. New highs. That made your entire week. One of those trades right there made your entire week. Or the GFS. Or the GNRC. Check Bud. I know. Bud is looking great. Bud is looking great over here. Where's that BF.A? That's still looking pretty good here, too. Where's TAP? Did TAP break out? Yeah, okay, so that stinks. Guys, I wanted this move here. TAP looked so good. It just has earnings next Wednesday. That was the problem with this one. This is such a good setup, but like I couldn't talk about it because like you have earnings too close. Now, in some cases, what we can do is we can try and make a position free for earnings, stuff like that. But like in this environment, do we really want to be taking on that risk? Not really. That's a nice move, though. AT&T still cruising here. Nice, guys. I don't know. Everybody's just going to keep remaining fearful. And then when this thing actually sells off bottoms and you see that switch here, I hope you guys have heeded the warnings and learned how to actually take advantage of the market when the opportunities are good, because it's going to be fun time again, and you do not want to miss fun time. I mean, it's kind of fun time right now. Actually, where's Nia? Is this thing holding on? That's selling off a little with the market there. That's fine. That still looks really good down here. Look at this. Look at this move. Here we go. This could easily get that nuke there. Right down to this zone, and then we see what happens. And then, like, I don't know. We do have CPI tomorrow. We'll see what happens, but is Lockheed holding on there? Yeah, Lockheed's holding on. Where are the utilities? Still up nicely. Actually, where's software? All right, this is getting interesting here. So we're going to get another test of this zone here on software. That could start to get interesting. I'm still a fan of the software sector. Like, what the heck happened here? But I would need to see the market show some signs of like a bottom after a big sell-off in order to go hit, what do you call it? Software. I wouldn't be doing it necessarily right now, which is why when we were talking about this in the mastermind, I was like, we should start thinking about these software names, because if we do see this move out of the market that we want to see, those could easily lead the way back up. Silver getting nuked. That's just such a nutty move on AT&T. Where's J&J? Oh, you know what I'm looking at here? Where's Lily? Lily not really doing much there. And then is Novo getting hit with this? Yeah, moving down with the market. But J&J looks phenomenal. Where's Pfizer? Pfizer could have something for us soon. What about, meh, that would need a lot more. You need to see a lot more out of that chart there. Like, I can't even begin to describe to you guys how excited I am for a big move down in the market. Like, I'm never going to be buying, like, boatloads of stocks at the high unless something makes a whole lot of sense. The purchases that I'm going to make are almost all the time going to come from when the market has, like, those 5 to 10%, 15% drawdowns, when we see those bases. So, but again, congratulations to you guys on all the gains this week. It has been awesome. Like, real awesome work, guys. So, again, as you guys are filtering in here, make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Costs you nothing to do it. Helps me out spreading this information out. I just wish everybody knew this stuff. Like, because if they did, like, you guys saw it yesterday when there was a lot of questions being asked. Should I buy these stocks here? And it's like, ooh, here we come. Here we come down to the zone. We're really close. 4 points away. Here it comes. Yeah, I think it's going to do it here. We'll see. IGV is very close. That's what, about 50 cents away here from getting back into the zone. Rig's been a crazy one. No. Rig is not a setup here. We've had, I mean, you guys have had this one for a while, though. That's been a nasty one. So, it's trying to bounce here, but again, no faith in this thing to continue back up. Remember, low volume pump to the upside. Where is this? That's not a great sign. Low volume pump, sells right back off. I think we're going much lower. It's just my opinion here. Maybe not today, because this has already been very aggressive. This has been a 100-point move down. But we are in for it, I think. What were we talking about in the mastermind last night? The timing's been pretty good. I don't know, I tried to time some of this stuff with you guys that, like, by the time we were going to be talking about the individual names, we could be in for a sell-off. So, we're getting there. We are getting there. Over the next few weeks, we might see it. AT&T still hanging out at the highs. That looks great. KHC. Throw it in the mastermind chat. We can do that one. Long catch up. I don't hate that chart either. I'm trying to bounce it off this zone here for now. For now, we'll see. Mac and cheese? Hey man, mac and cheese is pretty good. Look at that move. AT&T. Bang. Still going. But all right, guys, we went a little overtime today. I think you guys get the point. Starting to get, again, yeah, I hope you guys are kind of seeing why we've had this cautious approach to the market over last few weeks here, and why we've been really focusing in on these post earnings, and then things like, again, those Verizons, those AT&Ts. So again, I'm gonna throw the link for those of you guys that still need to hop in there with us to LTMP in the chat. Make sure you guys use code February. First month is $1 a day for you guys that are coming in, so that you guys can learn for that first month. Won't take you very long though. You rode some puts to the zone. Attaboy, Jason. But all right, guys. I'm going to have some videos for you guys later. Maybe a YouTube video. We'll see. But yeah, this is everything that we've expected to happen. So nothing really worrying for me right here. Gold down 3.2. Ooh, hold on. Yeah, not going to be looking at gold anymore. Nope, that's not going to be... That's weird. Yeah, so we're not going to look at that. Unless this thing wicks right back up throughout the end of the day, we probably won't be looking at that anymore. So, all right, guys. I will see you guys later.